Good evening and welcome to Legalize this 8th day of March 2026. Happy International Women's Day to all our female viewers and followers. Tonight we turn our attention to a remarkable Grenadian story. A story about discipline, intellect, and the quiet power of strategy. Chess is often described as the ultimate game of the mind. It demands patience, foresight, creativity, and the ability to think several moves ahead. It is a game where preparation meets opportunity and where one moment of insight can change the entire outcome of a contest. Our guest tonight, Renniel Gilbert, embodies those qualities. While still a teenager, Renniel traveled to the 45th Budapest Chess Olympiad and achieved the prestigious title of FIDE Master, one of the highest recognition in international chess. In the field of more than 2,000 competitors from nearly 200 countries, this young Grenadian distinguished himself through talent, discipline, and determination. Today, Renniel continues that journey as a first-year law student at the University of the West Indies, Cayville, Barbados, proving that the habits of careful thinking developed on the chessboard can translate into excellence in the study of law. But tonight's program is not only about individual achievement, it is also about vision. Joining us as well is Ruggles Ferguson Casey, President of Grenada Chess Federation, who will speak about the growing movement to bring chess into schools and communities across Grenada, opening opportunities for the next generation of strategic thinkers. Because when a young person in a small nation competes successfully on the world stage, it reminds us of something important. Greatness can emerge from anywhere. This is Legalized. Tonight, we examine the power of the mind through the eyes of Renniel. But before I invite Renniel to give any opening remarks, I just want to recognize those sponsoring this program: Jail Professional Solutions, Inc., Gem FM carrying this program on FM radio out of Canada, and also Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, GTAU. Good night, Renniel. Good night, Casey.
Yes. Good night. Good night. Good night, Renniel. Special good night to you. And happy to be on the program this evening to speak about chess.
Similarly, I am here as well. I'm happy to be here. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, Mr. Lane, and also thank you for the hearty introduction as well.
Yes, so just tell us a little bit about Renniel. I mean, which part of Grenada you are from, which schools you went to, if you want to speak about your parents, how primary school was, which secondary school you went to, what interested you in chess, what is the first time you played, what is the first time you realized you have a talent? Just tell us so those who view the program can have an idea as to who is this young Grenadian that is making us all proud.
Well, my name is Renniel Gilbert, as you know, and I'm 19 years old. I am from the small village of Bolio, St. George's, and I went to the primary school of Bolio RC, Our Lady Help of Christians, and from there I pursued my secondary education at the Presentation Brothers College as well, and that was also where I learned, or where I was first exposed to chess. I remember when I was in Form 1, it was a necessity for us to join 2 clubs, and I had joined choir because my brother had, when he was a student there, he was in the choir, so it was also necessary. I won't say necessary, but it was a given that I would join choir as well, and I had to join another club to make up the prerequisites of that. And from there, nothing really stood out to me, such as, cadets and scouts. I was more like a kind of reserved person in that sense. And even though I've never heard of the game of chess outside of layman terms, I mean, most persons are familiar with chess, but they don't know much about it. And I was like that. But even though the game was unorthodox to me at the time, it still piqued my interest. And I joined the chess club. And it was also around that time that Grandmaster Nigel Short had visited Grenada. And that's when the Grenada Chess Federation was starting to become established. And I remember that I think the week after I joined the chess club, members had to go to a sort of panel or forum that the Grandmaster was having, sharing chess in Grenada and establishing the Grenada Chess Federation. And from there, that field trip that I had, I went to the GPSS auditorium, I remember it, and just hearing how he was just talking about the game with such passion and enthusiasm, it really sparked a passion within me for the game. And I learned the game of chess through my brother at home. So he was my first teacher of chess. He taught me the foundation, the basics, and from that I used to propel myself further. So he was also my first challenge, a major challenge as well, because one of my my goals was to beat him, because every time we played, he would always he's not the kind of person to give you a mercy win, so he would always beat you. A lot of persons in that would become deterred, and I use that as a sort of fuel and motivation to start to pursue the game more. And of course, I want to thank my mom as well. My mom has been very instrumental to me. She's been my main support system as well. And yes, from PBC, I went on to TAMCC. Of course, this is just kind of brief. I went on to TAMCC, and then also that propelled me as well, because then I was able to meet new people, engage with the chess club there, and 2024 was the most instrumental year for me, because chess was able to give me so many opportunities, because the first time that I've ever gotten to travel was because of chess. And that happened in March of 2024, where we first traveled to St. Vincent in the inaugural Satoya bilateral chess tournament, which I was the captain there. And I led the team to victory. And it was, of course, a very nice experience to travel for the first time. That shows that chess can give you opportunities.
So let me ask, just not to interrupt you, but were you finally able to beat your brother?
Yes, it took me a while, but I was able to beat him.
Your brother still plays?
Yes, he does.
Or you retired him?
Nah, he still plays, but
he still plays.
He doesn't want to play me again.
He don't want to play you again?
No.
All right, okay. Well, okay, so and your interest in terms of law was peaked when?
Well, my interest in law was peaked in TAMCC, actually.
In TAMCC?
Yes, because I wanted to do law. I didn't do law in TAMCC. I did psychology and sociology, but I believe I was doing it at first, but what more interested in me at the time was sociology and psychology, and I couldn't do three of them. I couldn't do law, sociology, and psychology. So I did
clashes in the syllabus.
Yes, I believe so. And that also sparked my interest, and also my brother as well. He also sparked my interest in law from a young age, because it was his dream. It was one of his dreams to pursue law, and due to restraints, because he didn't have the opportunities, because although he got a scholarship to go to SGU, of course, SGU is not law focused, more on medicine. So he didn't get the opportunity to do law. And I want to sort of actualize his dream and my dream as well, because I do have an interest and passion for the law. Yeah.
So that all that you say tells me, and I guess the viewers, that you are from a close-knit family.
Yes.
And that when today's International Women's Day, and it's an additional reason to salute your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, and what role would you say that the Chess Federation has played in your progress?
Well, they've played a very integral role, because without the Chess Federation, I wouldn't be here. Well, I wouldn't achieve the things that I could have achieved, because it was thanks to them that I was given a platform to show my skills and to show my worth, because they were the ones who were sponsoring me to go to these competitions regionally and internationally. They are the ones who's behind my back, basically supporting me. So they play a very instrumental role, the Chess Federation. And not only that, but also the members within the Chess Federation as well have built a nice rapport and camaraderie with them. There's very, very nice people they've made to meet. Mr. August Ferguson, for example, Mr. Carlisle Glean, Mr. Kwabena Amen, all of them are part of the Renniel Chess Federation. It's like one family, you know? Mm-hmm. And that is a very nice environment. And we're all working towards one common goal, which is, spreading chess across Grenada and the wider region and just becoming better. So the Renniel Chess Federation has been my biggest supports, one of my biggest support systems. Yes.
Okay, so you went off to that competition in Budapest, Hungary?
Yes.
And what happened there?
Well, it was one of the most eye-opening experiences in my life, the most important one by far. Now let me tell you the story of how everything transpired. So let's start off with the first round, right? So the first round, I went into there. I was playing against a very strong player. I believe he was a FIDE Master. And long story short, I lost that game. But when I looked at the game afterwards, it was actually very close. Like, I was maintaining my own. I was holding my own for quite a while. And I started realizing that I have the potential and I belong here, right? I belong to be here. And I think it's very easy to think that, or to kind of develop this kind of self-doubt, because when you're playing in such a high-level event, you're playing against very strong players, people who have been playing chess longer than you've been alive, and and you just having to be able to maintain yourself and maintain your confidence. And in the second round, that was really the game that changed or really set everything into motion, because I won that game against a very strong player from Cameroon. I believe he was also a FIDE Master as well. And that was the first point that Grenada recorded in history, because that was our first chess Olympiad. Mm-hmm. And the feedback I got from that was electrifying. And not only that, but it made me realize a fundamental truth, that, the gap is not that big, and we really have a lot of, I think that we do have the potential to do great things if we truly just believe in ourselves, because that's what I believe, and moving on to, the third game, I lost that game as well, but I also learned a lot. Like every game that I played, I learned a lot from it, so although I started off the event 1 out of 3, for the next 5 games, I went on a winning streak, and it was just a very nice experience in general, because also I had my teammates as well, who were along with me, and they were motivation as well, because they were helping and supporting, and we were talking, and so, and Budapest was really just
and I'm told that there were 197 countries participated.
yes, there was 197 people from 197 countries, over 2,000 people.
Okay. And out of that competition, you became what, a FIDE Master, is it?
FIDE Master, because of my performance. So I believe you need to have over 60% score in order to harbor that title of FIDE Master. And because I won 7.5 out of 10 games, I was eligible for the title of FIDE Master. And it was me along with 22 other people. So I believe it was 23 of us who earned a score.
Which other countries, the other 23? You don't have to tell me every one of them.
Yes.
But from Europe, Africa, Asia?
Europe, mostly Europe. Those countries like China, for example. Some African countries as well. Yes.
Any others from the Caribbean besides yourself?
I cannot recall.
Anybody else from the Caribbean?
I cannot recall. But I know there are a lot from, Europe and so.
Okay. And so you're a FIDE Master now. How do you maintain that position, A? And B, how do you advance from that position? And how far can you go from that position? Okay. So that's a 3-part question.
Well, first of all, once you earn a title in chess, it sticks with you for life. So there's no way that it can be revoked or I can lose out of it. And from this title, it's the 3rd highest title in chess. Then there's 2 more that's above it, that is International Master, and the highest, which is Grand Master. Yes. And of course, it requires a lot of discipline and playing and practice to reach such a high stage of the game. And there's actually very few Grandmasters in the world. I believe there's only barely even 2,000.
Less than 2,000 Grandmasters?
Yes.
Okay. So just tell us now briefly before Mr. Ferguson comes in about your journey to law school. You went to this FIDE. Your brother wanted to become a lawyer, but he didn't have the resources. How did the resources become, or the opportunity become available to you to go off to law school?
Well, it all started because of the feedback, or because of Budapest. I gained recognition, and the Ministry of Youth, they recognized my achievements, and I had to go to a youth recognition ceremony that happened December of the same year, 2024, where I was awarded a scholarship to pursue a university of my choice. That is SGU, UE, or anyone that is equivalent. And I chose UE because it's well established, and I sent in my application. I got through, and the government, they promised to help out with the economic cost, tuition, and such, which is a huge help, and that what enabled me to pursue my legal education now.
So did you put FIDE Master on your application?
No. My
You
individual, not really, no.
Okay. Well, it's interesting that you did it and you still got through. That's great.
Yes, my academic achievement.
At law school, you are in your first year, you said?
First year, yes.
Okay, so with about 4 to 5 years time, you will be crossing the bar in Grenada, presumably, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Rugs, well, I guess that's
You hear me clearly, right?
clearly, yes. What he has
Yes,
said,
okay.
It's testimony to the work of the Chess Federation. It's hard work sometimes, hard grinding work, but I guess one is very happy when you see these kind of results, and not only happy but encouraged. And I guess also there's a clear understanding that once you have the infrastructure, by that meaning the clubs, the organizations, the facilities, as we said at the start, you can find talent and greatness anywhere. And I guess that's the whole idea. So if you can just tell us something, Rogs, about the Chess Federation. Renniel started to tell us that it started around 2019 or somewhere so?
Yes, 2019. And well, let me also wish all the ladies out there happy International Women's Day. FIDE focuses a lot on women and girls in chess. That's one of the areas of focus. And I just want to join with others in wishing all women and girls happy International Women's Day. Yes, Renniel's story is a really fascinating one. And I'm happy that he has the opportunity to come on this program this evening to tell that story, because Renniel is the example that we use. He has become, if you want to call it, the poster boy of local chess. His own story, his own fascinating rise, and the opportunities that were presented and that he embraced, and ultimately caused him to be where he is today. The Chess Federation was established in 2019, formally in May 2019, but we first met as chess players in February 2019. And I myself played chess over long periods. Renniel mentioned Carlisle Green, who is the vice president. We played a lot back in the day. And Grandmaster Short, in fact, was traveling throughout the Caribbean, and particularly in the OECS, a few OECS countries, to try to establish chess federations. At that time, Grandmaster Short was a vice president of FIDE, the International Chess Federation, and he himself was once the third highest ranking player in the world. and he has been associated with chess for ages and won several different international competitions until he became ultimately the third highest ranking player. I myself, for several years, different people have been trying to get me involved, in the organization of chess in Grenada, but I always resisted and referred elsewhere because of the sheer weight of my workload. And as I explained then, I didn't want to get into something and then give it, quarter or half the time, even quarter or half the time. Because I'm involved in so many different things, I had to decline. But when I got the call that Grandmaster Short was on his way, in fact, the then president of the Jamaica Chess Federation, a colleague of mine, who had tried to get me involved before, King's Counsel Ian Wilkinson, and he pleaded with me to try to organize even just the visit of Grandmaster Short, because he was coming within days, and Grenada was one of his destinations. So I did, and in a sense, the rest is history. First, we mobilized chess players throughout the country whom we knew, and had a session with Grandmaster Short. And there was the beginnings of the Grenada Chess Federation. In fact, Grandmaster Short, one of the highlights of that meeting, and at his request, he wanted to play 25 of our players simultaneously. So he played 25 at the same time, going around the table. And he actually defeated 24, and he drew with one player at the time, Jesse Green. And from that, we formed an interim committee and then had developed a constitution and established formally in May 2019. So I must say that Grandmaster Short, who we are very actively in contact with still, was one of the prime movers for the establishment of the Grenada Chess Federation, and we have to be eternally grateful for him, his own initiative, his own passion for chess, and very importantly, his guidance, both himself and Ian Wilkinson, then president of the Jamaica Chess Federation. In fact, he's back as president just a few months ago. He returned as president, and he was very active, Ian Wilkinson, in chess, international chess, participating at the FIDE level with administration, and he himself has written about 2 chess books. Actually, has written books on chess. So he himself is a passionate chess player. And the Jamaica Chess Federation, with the direct assistance of Ian and Grandmaster Short, we were able to launch the Grenada Chess Federation, and the rest is history. What I want to highlight, most importantly, because before the establishment of the Chess Federation, people played chess. I played chess a long time ago, and but you just play for fun. There was no organization of chess. And as indicated earlier, the FIDE is the umbrella body for over 190 federations worldwide. And within a year, through the assistance of Grandmaster Short again, we were able to become full members of FIDE. And of course, through that, we are also members of the Confederation of Chess for the Americas. But what Renniel's story tells most of all is the importance of institutions to assist our young people. You know, we can work as hard as we wish individually, and of course that is important too. But the critical importance of having institutions to really grow and develop our young people and targeting our young people at a very early age, that is reflected in the successes of Renniel. As he mentioned, the first thing he mentioned that interested him in chess was a chess club in the Presentation Brothers College. And I really want to extend hats off to the Presentation Brothers College, because it is one of the most organized chess clubs in Grenada, among the first, and it has been sustained before and beyond Renniel. And even the catalyst was the Grenada Chess Federation, and from 2019, we have been encouraging the establishment of chess clubs. So Renniel had that opportunity, first and foremost, in to play chess in Presentation Brothers College. And I want to shout out Brother Vladimir Mendez, who was part of the Grenada delegation to Budapest in 2019 for the 45th FIDE Chess Olympiad, who has really been playing an important role and continues to play in developing that chess club. In fact, just a few months ago, they had an inter-house chess tournament, the very first inter-house chess tournament in Grenada. And Presentation Brothers College led the way as far as that tournament was concerned. And then from BBC, Renniel ended up in the hands of Brother Amen, Kwabena Amen, who is very passionate about chess and who keeps the chess club in TAMCC going, active and going. So actually, Renniel went from one chess club in PBC early in the game to another chess club in TAMCC. And of course, what the Grenada Chess Federation has organized, and I believe Renniel participated in all of them. Between 2019 and 2025, we have had 5 chess summer camps for kids 7 years and over. We had it at the GBSS. We have had it every single year at the GBSS. And I know Renniel, if he did not attend all, but he attended most of these chess summer camps. And in fact, it was at those summer camps that some of our folks who now go abroad to represent Grenada, that is where they learn chess. So you had at the club level in the school, at the club level in TAMCC, where most people move on to after secondary school. And then you have the federation with its chess camps, and we have developed it from the first learn to play chess in 2020, now exposing our players at different levels in the summer camps. So Renniel didn't mention in 2024, but as he said, the first time he traveled, I think the first time most of them on the team, the 5-member team, probably save for one, but most of them were traveling for the first time. And in that single year, Renniel went to St. Vincent in March, Budapest in September, and then Aruba after returning from Budapest. And as a result of the successes of the team and particularly his performance, we were able to get sponsorship to send a team to play the Aruba Open Invitational Tournament, and Renniel also performed well. at that tournament. So actually three trips in that 1 year, and he has become unstoppable. So the real lesson I think that we must all learn, even outside of chess, but the importance of one, having institutions and building strong institutions so that we can pursue whatever is the ultimate objective. And for the Grenada Chess Federation, as we have as our motto in a sense, bringing chess nationwide. Bringing chess, extending chess throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique.
You just concluded a week of activities. That's correct?
Yes, a week of activities. In fact,
tell us something about that.
Okay, we had our first chess week. This week, it started on Monday, and it ended formally yesterday. So from Monday to Saturday. And it is the first, not just the first ever chess week in Grenada, but in the OECS, in the Caribbean, and possibly in the Americas. An entire week dedicated to chess. And one of the critical items on the agenda for Chess Week was the delivery, the visit and delivery of chess sets, the visits to primary schools and secondary schools throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. The objective being to ensure before this month ends, and we are trying to do as many as possible, many visits as possible during Chess Week, but by the end of March, every single primary school and every single secondary school spanning Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique will have professional chess sets. We presented five sets to each school, and the idea is not just to present the sets, but to give the necessary guidance to the schools for the formation of chess clubs within the schools, and very importantly, to provide coaching and training. Fortunately, and that's one of the big pluses of chess, chess probably is the only game that can be played competitively, either physically or virtually. And you can also play against the computer. Very flexible. You could there is no need for a human at the other side because you can play against the computer. So what we are seeking is to have coaches so that every school, apart from just playing chess and learning on your own, they can form clubs, and we are giving the technical assistance there, and two, receive training. And that is where we need the assistance of the state, because we need to bring in coaches, a few coaches from abroad to start that process, or even use them while abroad. Physically is always best, but we may have to start off virtually. So in over Chess Week, we have, I don't have the exact statistic now, but on Thursday, by Thursday, it was over 35 schools. We were able to deliver to over 40 primary and secondary schools throughout Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique chess sets, and to engage students in chess, and even the young students at primary schools, very excited. The feedback has been overwhelming. In fact, the week exceeded by far our expectations, and I could certainly say my expectations, and even with the optimist that I am, those visits to the schools were really inspiring. And what probably was a big highlight of that week, of Chess Week, is the fact that we were able to go to Carriacou and Petit Martinique and to deliver and engage every single primary school in Carriacou. Well, there are 5 in Carriacou and 1 in Petit Martinique. So we did all 6 primary schools in Carriacou and Petit Martinique, and we also did both Hillsborough Secondary and Bishop's College. And in that entire process, I must say the principals of these schools have been fantastic, very supportive, and we have, in fact, identified for the Carriacou schools the folks in the schools who would lead chess. And most importantly, we have discovered that chess has been played in Carriacou by a group of people, most of them who are still around from back in the 80s. Of course, not competitively. Apparently, there was somebody who was in Carriacou who was consciously teaching chess many years ago. So the folks are really excited, and they have pledged. And I must make mention here of William Patterson, who just retired from Bishop's College last year, July. After 40 years teaching in that school, he was instrumental in organizing Carriacou and taking us around to ensure that those chess sets were delivered. He will assist with teaching, and also we have a Mr. Macmillan, very passionate, also an old chess player, and he has pledged to assist. So Carriacou, what now we are looking at for Carriacou is to have possibly in August to have a chess summer camp for Carriacou and Petit Martinique. It will be the first time we are moving away from GBSS, but I think Carriacou is ready for a chess summer camp, and we are looking at that possibility for 1 week to boost the game in Carriacou and Petit Martinique. We have touched all the secondary schools. Sorry.
Yeah, I've done a quick calculation. You're talking about maybe over 240 sets already distributed?
Yes, and our target is actually over 400 chess sets. Right. When the calculation was done, if we had to do every secondary school and including private schools, private primary schools. So, for example, Alpha was done this week, First Choice was done this week, and you have the other school in Tempe there, and they are all targeted for this week. So those that were not touched last week are targeted for this week.
My question is, how did you source these sets? Because that must be it must cost some money.
Yes, in fact, the cost, when we did a tabulation, the value of those sets will be over $30,000. $30,000. And again, and I'm happy that you raised that point, because it goes back again to the importance of institutions. Without these institutions, we wouldn't have these tournaments. We would not be attending the Olympiad, and we would not have gotten these chess sets. We were able to source them as part of our plans to just spread chess nationwide through our membership of FIDE, the international organization, and the Confederation of Chess for the Americas, which includes Central America, in fact, includes the United States. We were able to source the sets. So we got over 400 chess sets, well over, and we got other donations that we use for internal play, but we have budgeted over 400 to distribute, because those are the tools that you need. You need the sets in order to learn to play chess, to be exposed to the pieces. And so it complements them that we were able to source the chess sets. And these are not just chess sets. Like, you go and buy a little chess set in the store. These are professional chess sets that are used for regional, not just local, but regional and international tournaments. So there are benefits. There are benefits for chess, and membership benefits with the membership of FIDE. And so this week we did several programs, media programs. And as I said, though the week has ended in yesterday, and it ended with the culmination of the second Independence Chess Tournament. Actually, we had the inaugural chess tournament in February last year, and that was won by Renniel. And he also, well, he was the winner of all the competitions that we played. Apart from performing well in Budapest, he won the first Independence Chess Tournament, and then he also went on to win the national tournament held in May, I believe, 2025. So he had, unfortunately, because he's abroad, he could not participate in either tournament. But we had those tournaments over February 28th, Saturday, 2 Saturdays, at the Grenada Olympic House. And that was won, the male division was won by Jenard Roberts, who is also the new national chess champion. And the female division was won by Rhonda Batiste. And Rhonda is well, an adult, and she has just started playing competitions, and she has been really fantastic. Not just at playing chess, because in order to make Chess Week and these activities successful, you need the active participation of the membership. And Rhonda, who is a relative newcomer to the Grenada Chess Federation, has really proved her immense worth. And this week, she volunteered to do St. David's, responsible for St. David's, and to organize, to ensure that chess sets were delivered to schools in St. David's. And she did the West Hall Secondary School, the St. David's Secondary School, the current primary school. She even did outside of St. David's, the Mongelo RC school, I think St. Joseph school, that's the Mongelo RC school. She also did Anglican High School, and she will continue. Very hardworking, will continue this week with the respective teams to ensure that it is done. So
there's a question someone is asking, Marcel Belva. Do you accept students over 60 years? If yes, how do I get enrolled? And what day, time, and place do you conduct classes?
Right. Good, Marcel. And the answer is yes. In fact, while outlining the benefits of chess, apart from playing physically and virtually, one of the big benefits of chess as an international game is that an 8-year-old, for example, can play a 108-year-old. There's no age barrier. Young could play seniors. So there's absolutely no age barrier involved. And there are, tournaments for seniors. A lot of emphasis on girls, women, young people, but there are tournaments for everybody. And we have our website too, and the membership, we are developing the website where people can make it easier for people to join as as members, but certainly Marcel can contact me. All it requires is filling out a form and, dues and, payment of dues, which is very low. In fact, that's one of the things, because we are involved in so many activities, a financial plan would need to be developed. We have fundraising activities. We have had sponsorship, and we must really thank several of our sponsors over the last 2 years in particular, when we began to engage in competitive chess and overseas chess. And you hear it from Renniel himself, that you can't stay in Grenada and, for example, play and become a FIDE master. You have to play against the best in the world. And the more games that you play, the more overseas tournaments that you attend, the greater the possibility of becoming rated, because ratings is a big thing in chess. And Renniel's a FIDE master. When he went to Budapest, he was unrated, as most of our players are now unrated. But that's why we are trying as best as possible to expose our young people very early to overseas games and overseas tournaments. We have young Renniel, not Renniel, but Romel Vento, who has been playing for the last year or two, outstanding. He's only 10 years old, and outstanding at chess, beating very senior players. He's among, the top in his age category, and he is destined to be a grandmaster if he continues at this rate. Very passionate about the game. We predict Renniel will be the first grandmaster for Grenada, and he has been pressing forward. So hopefully we look at, making it big in the world of chess.
So, Renniel, if I may ask, how have you found that the skills, and so you develop playing chess? How have those skills assisted you, if at all, in your academics?
It
and your
has
pursuit of the study of law in particular?
Right. So chess, of course, has many benefits, such as discipline, because chess rewards hard work and practice. You have to be able to play a lot of games and learn from those games, and you have to also understand delayed gratification as well, and even losses as well, because losses also play a very important role in learning. Just being able to learn from your mistakes, because you would learn more from a game that you lose than a game that you would win. Also, chess, of course, teaches strategy. So, especially when it comes to academics, or just in life in general, thinking before you make a decision, or just thinking before you make a move can go a long way, because you have to then consider the implications that your decision can have on the future. And that is a very useful skill to have. It teaches you also to be proactive, because in life, you're not going to be prepared for everything. Life is going to throw things at you, and you have to be able to be spontaneous, in that you have to be able to think on your feet. And chess teaches you that. It teaches you concentration. For example, you have to sit on the board. There's times where I sit on the board and I play chess for over 5 hours on end. And that level of concentration has helped me a lot, because it makes me be able to focus in on what I'm doing, like any task that I'm doing. If I'm doing assignments, for example, it's very easy to be distracted and go on your phone and go through the social medias and so. But chess has taught me a lot, you know, just having that discipline and concentration and focusing on your tasks. And sort of these things are becoming a second nature as you continue and you play chess. It's not something that you can, it's not something that you notice. It kind of becomes part of your mode of apparatus. You know, as you progress through the game, it helps you a lot because there are a lot of parallels in life as there are in chess, because chess is a game of life, you know. And even in law, you know, chess teaches you about the rule of law, you know, in that the king on the chessboard is the most important piece on the board. But even though it's the most important piece, it still follows strict rules. Like it's not, it can only move in one direction. It can only move in one space at a time in any direction, right? So even the king, as important as it is, it still has to be defended by the pieces around it. And the rule of law say that no one is above, you know, the rules, and everyone else follows the same similar rules when you're playing a game of chess. Everyone starts off with the same amount of pieces and such.
Yeah. Is it any coincidence, Rox, in your view, that several of the, when yourself and just mentioned Brother Wilkinson and Wilkinson Casey in Jamaica, and I know also Israel in St. Vincent.
Israel Brute, yes, St. Vincent, yes.
Is there any? Is that a coincidence, or is there some reason for it? Why people out of the legal profession, and now that's what Renniel has chosen. Is there any?
Yes.
Is it coincidence or is it related?
Well, probably it's really more than coincidence. Probably it's more, I suppose, a study will need to be done through the region. We have very good relations with St. Vincent Chess Federation. We also have very good relations and have shared very good relations with the Jamaica Chess Federation that has really developed chess. I think in the first 10 years, they had 50,000 new chess players in Jamaica. They have organized cool tournaments at all levels in Jamaica. We have lots to learn from them. They now have full-time coaches, actually full-time coaches that earn a living through chess. And we need that in Grenada. We need lots of coaches in Grenada to teach in those schools, because we can't just do it. We don't have the time to do it voluntarily. And also you need coaching, not just learn to play chess at a professional level. I must mention too, again, how it works, the importance of federations. We have another really prime, inspiring example. Now, we were able to go to Budapest, send a team, a full 10-member team to Budapest. 5 males, 5 females. And interestingly, among the males who went to Budapest, about 3 of them were from the Presentation Brothers College Chess Club and then Tamsisi Chess Club. Again, so you see, including Renniel. And we were able to get a coach. Through FIDE, they were providing coaches. And we were able to get Denise Boya, Dr. Denise Boya, who is a former South African chess player and coach who played at the Olympiad, and she coached our female team. That was in September 2024. Now, her husband, Dr. Lyndon Boya, who has written several chess books. He has basically a museum, really passionate about chess. He has represented South Africa many times at the Olympiad. and somehow was inspired by the Grenada experience and our own passion to develop chess, and through Coach Dennis, no doubt, he volunteered free of cost to coach members of the Grenada team, and that was in January last year. So between January, he and his wife, Denise, Coach Denise, both of them coaches, they coach on Sundays. On Sundays, I know South Africa is about 6 hours ahead of us. Consistently provided coaching services free of cost, and right up to December. In fact, we are going to have an activity very within the next 2 weeks, a thank you activity, and we are now trying to secure both of them, and they are willing, very enthusiastic, to be the coaches. Him for the male coach, as male coach, and Coach Dennis as female coach for the upcoming Olympiad in September in Uzbekistan. That is in September this year. It would be the 46th Olympiad. The Olympiad is every 2 years. And coaching is critical. I mean, Renniel, they performed really well. But we didn't have a dedicated coach at that time for the males. We were able to secure one for the females because FIDE was focusing a lot on the development of chess among women and girls. They continue to do that focus. So there's a possibility that probably as early as April, we are working on it, is that we can have a coach for both the male team and the female team, and they can start preparing now. So it's not just the inaugural, you're going, but you're preparing. And the Renniel example has been set, you're going to win. No, you're just not going to make up numbers, but you're actually going to win there. So we have that. And I also want to make the point, right? And I hope there are several sponsors listening tonight or representatives of sponsors, because we really need urgent sponsorship for a lot of the activities that we are undertaking. But one of the things I must mention about chess, Renniel mentioned a few. So it enhances critical thinking. And you want that among our young people, not when they get old, and they, when I say old, they go to university and they're learning critical thinking there. You want to learn critical thinking from, below 10 years of age, 6, 7, 8. That is what chess teaches. Critical thinking. It teaches strategy. It teaches discipline, concentration. And it, as I said, and we know how kids are, it increases attention span. It increases memory capacity. And it, of course, develops sportsmanship and so, because in FIDE, again, the rules of the game that, win, lose, or draw, you must be a sportsman, commend the other side. And those things are inculcated, some of the kids in the chess camps, when they, and these are young kids, and when they lose, they're crying, they're bawling, they go and cry to their parents, right, that they lose. And we had some who started off like that. And now, when you lose, you get accustomed to lose it. When you lose, you want to blame the other side or blame somebody. Those qualities are important to inculcate in our youth at a very early age. But I just want to make the point on memory. And especially as Marcel raised the point about involvement in chess. Because one of the things that we are looking at doing, and I really hope we can achieve it this year, is to introduce chess in elderly homes in Grenada. More likely than not, we'll undertake like a pilot project with 1 or 2 homes, get sponsorship, undertake a pilot project with 1 or 2 of the homes, introduce, donate chessboards, and to have people going to these homes to like teach chess. And no, that is not competitive chess. That is getting just people mentally active. Because just as you have physical gyms, people go to the gym to get physically fit. Then it is said that chess is like a mental gym. It gets you mentally fit, and it slows down memory challenges that people have. Well, I can't even say in later life now, because so many younger people are being affected by things like dementia and Alzheimer's and this. And it is said because chess keeps your mind constantly active, that it helps to slow down that entire process. So it's a great game, not just for the youth, but for the elderly. And we are looking at having chess in the elderly homes. And while we promote competitive chess, there is also, apart from Grandmaster Short, there's another chess expert that we brought in 2022 for about 10 days. Guy by the name of Leandro Garcia from Spain. And he is the leading, one of the leading authorities on chess in education. No, and chess in education is not competitive chess. Chess in education is a program that has been developed by FIDE to use chess as a tool for teaching in schools. That's why it's called chess in education. So you use chess, you use the chessboard to teach maths, to teach geography, to teach physics, to teach chemistry, literally all subjects, using the chessboard. And we hope to have him, Leandro and his team. He loves Grenada. He was here for 10 days, and he has promised to give us some special attention. We are always in contact. And he has gotten many awards because they are doing it in Africa and basically all the continents. And we want to introduce it in Grenada first and foremost, because I think we are more advanced with chess in education than the other Caribbean countries. Because when he came here in 2022 for the 10 days, he met with education officials, teachers. He went to schools. I went to Crochet Archie School with him, for example. He went to Spring School, primary school, to introduce the teachers to the chess in education concept. So it's already planted in Grenada. I don't think it's planted in any of the other Caribbean islands or even the OECS. So it's really a lot going on in chess. A lot going on in chess at the moment.
Fantastic. So we have to end soon, but I just want to recognize those sponsoring this program before we end. Gel Professional Solutions Inc., Gem FM carried this program on FM radio out of Canada, and also Grenada Technical and Allied Workers Union, GTAU. I also want to recognize Kevin Braveboy, says outstanding performance from Renniel, and congrats to the GCF for providing that platform. Rox, before we end, I just don't know if you want to say a final comment.
Well, yes, certainly, to continue. Well, I'm always in contact with Renniel, and he has, Renniel just has the personality for chess. Very calm, very humble, and very hardworking, very, very disciplined, and can concentrate for long periods. And really, to wish him the best in his studies. I know he will do well. We all expect him to do well. And I must mention, too, that he is in Barbados, and only 2 weeks ago, from February 18th to 22nd, there was the Barbados Open Invitational Chess Tournament, and we have very good relations with the Barbados Chess Federation. In fact, one of the officials there, Kevin Daniel, is the chief arbiter for most of our tournaments. And he comes in now for the chess summer camp. And Renniel played in Barbados, together with Jenard Roberts and Rakisha Flanders. They represented Grenada, and Renniel played in Group B. There are 4 groups. Group A is really for masters. They are the highest ranked players. Group B for FIDE Masters, Candidate Masters, and so. And you had that Group D unrated players. Renniel played in Group B. That's a high-level group. I think there were 18 participants, Renniel, in that group. And Renniel placed 6. He performed commendably in that tournament. And we really want to make sure this is an Olympiad year. And I'm making the call again that to sponsors, and I must probably mention at this point, I can't complete the program without mentioning the IMA, Corp Bank, Republic Bank, Georgia Huggins and Company. And I don't like to start calling names and leave out names, but several of these institutions and Corp Bank, especially, and IMA, they have assisted, because we really can't do these things without the assistance of sponsors. And we had a ceremony in June this year to show appreciation to sponsors. They gave plaques and so, those who assisted us. But we would need, for Renniel, especially, and other members of the Grenada team, to play as many tournaments as possible, the overseas tournaments, to meet rated players, to meet strong players in preparation for Budapest. Because we want Budapest to be a further development. Well, I'm saying Budapest, Uzbekistan, right? We had Budapest in 2024. And so we really need the support of sponsors and members coming forward to assist. And let me thank you for the opportunity to talk chess today on this program. And in fact, it's almost like an extension of our week continuing today. And we'll continue it with the school visits throughout the week. Besides schools, this week, yes, this week, besides school.
You said law week, I said chess
week. Oh,
I
said law week. Sorry, chess week. Yes, chess week, to continue it, and this week, and to do further programs to really assist in spreading chess, bringing chess nationwide, and having an impact among all age groups, from the very young to the elderly, in homes and outside of homes. So thank you for this opportunity, and continue doing well, Renniel.
Renniel, 2 questions and then a comment from you. One, how have you been able to balance? How are you achieving that balance between your law studies and continuing your chess journey?
I'm glad you asked that question. And yes, I'm trying to find equilibrium even now, because it's not easy, especially given that law school is a very very tough environment. But even so, I am trying to create a schedule, at least, where I can have times and periods I can play chess and try to improve, because the reality is the more you don't play, you get rusty after a while, so you have to keep on playing. So I have a nice little time frame where I like to play, mostly where it's also good because chess is more like my recreational, to get away from a lot of the anxieties of life and school in general. So even on evenings, let's say I have a designated day. Let's say on the weekends, I usually like to play some games online against some very strong players as well, and that I've been doing so far with some success, with good success.
Secondly, what would you say to 12-year-old boy or girl in any village across Grenada watching this program now with their parents or watching after in terms of the value of being involved with chess?
Well, to the young people of Grenada, I want you to understand that your mind is one of your greatest strengths. And as Mr. Ferguson was saying earlier, you know, there is physical gym where you go to train your physical strength and so, but chess, I believe, is like the gymnasium of the mind. So chess can help you develop that strength, that mental resilience and discipline and belief in yourself. And you know, chess teaches you, as I said, many benefits. It can teach you patience, focus, discipline. It helps with, you know, attention span and so. And losing, and also it teaches you that losing is a part of the learning process, because I know a lot of persons, you know, when they start off a game, and they start something new and they start to lose, then it can deter them. But know that every loss is an opportunity to learn something new and come back even stronger. And you know, sometimes opportunities can come from places you never expect. So always give your all. You know, something as simple as learning chess, you know, can lead to travel opportunities, can lead to scholarships. You know, so you never really know where life can take you, but you just want to take your opportunities as you receive them, you know.
Okay, thank you very much, Renniel. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you, Ruggs. Thank you to all those viewing this program and those who will follow it later. Thank you very much and good night.
Okay, good.
Okay, bye.
Bye.